Hello everyone, my name is Josh and this is the Skype for Business recap. It is Thursday. We are kind of winding some things down here at Ignite. Day 4. There's a few things still happening on Friday, but for people like me who are flying out at the crack of dawn tomorrow morning, we're wrapping up today. Even Microsoft's Big Bash is going to be tonight. And so, yeah, it's been one heck of a conference though. Great opportunity to meet people. And also a great opportunity to walk about 7 to 12 miles a day, depending on who you are and what you're doing. You literally feel like you're walking to the next county, going from one session to the next. It's a bit crazy. This place is huge, but it's been super beneficial and a very good time. I've gotten to meet a bunch of you that I've talked to throughout the last year, and we've caught up here. So this has been really cool. Today was a good day, especially to meet people. There was the book signing over at the Modality Systems booth for Skype for Business Unleashed. So got a bunch of the guys that were involved in authoring the book in various stages to sign. That was a lot of fun. I'm not going to say whether or not I'm using that book to prop up my laptop once again, but it's a good book and I'm going to dive into it. But man, it is thick, so it works well for this. All right. So anyway, that was a good time today. And I've just met several other people around the floor, both today and throughout the week, and the sessions as well. So there was a couple good sessions this morning, actually. Brian Ricks had a good session this morning, having to do with Skype for Business and Project Rigel, now Skype Room Systems, and the Surface Hub. And then we also had the VIS session with Adam Jacobs for Polycom's Office 365 VIS service, and that was a very good session as well. So those were both this morning. There's other good sessions happening this afternoon and even a couple tomorrow. I'm just not going to be able to make some of those. So what I'm going to do today, well, before I dive into content, I'll point out behind me we've got the actual Skype for Business booth area. You'll notice the sign at the very top up there, this way, says collaboration. It does not say Skype for Business on that big blue spot. On each of those little stands, though, there are various Skype for Business areas that are being demonstrated. And they're really the big themes this year that we're seeing in the booth are, of course, the Skype Room Systems, which on the table behind me that you can't really see, you have your Polycom, your Logitech, and your Crestron devices all sitting there on the table for demoing and seeing Skype Room System in action. And then at these sections on the side, the peripheral areas, we have a lot of hub devices hung up. And they are the big, like the one you can see right back there, the big 84-inch ones. They are beautiful and they are a blast to play with. So if you are still at Ignite and you see this before the day wraps up, head over to the Skype for Business booth and play on the hubs. Check out the Skype Room Systems. It's well worth your time. Oh, they even have some pretty awesome swag this year. Look at that. Look at that little power converter. It's like the Swiss Army knife of power here. We got this cool little deal here for your vehicle. And then we've got just a regular plug here, which actually comes out. Plug a laptop in there. And then if we flip it around, we've got USB. So pretty sweet. Good job to the Skype for Business team on picking out awesome swag this year. All right. Now, there's we'll go ahead and leave operations over there, what's going on with the booth, and we will go over to the content. I'm going to first go to my Infinity screen, of course, and then we're going to go straight over to Mark Vale's blog. And unfortunately, Mark could not be here this year. He's in the UK, but he has done a phenomenal job of paying attention to what's going on every day on the fly, live stuff via Twitter, live streams that he's watching, and he has made a great blog post highlighting not just all the stuff in Skype for Business that's been going on, but even the keynote. He has some really good thoughts on that here. I'm not going to dive into the keynote because it's not really relevant to the Skype for Business area here, but I just wanted to point out that he did a good job jumping into that. Mark, thanks for letting me kind of crash your blog and pillage it for information. You did a great job. So, of course, I'm going to provide the link to this on this YouTube video description, and I'm not going to dive into this in depth, so you guys need to go back, check out the link, and read what he has to say, because he's got some very good insight in a lot of these areas. The first thing Skype for Business that he touched on here, broadcast meetings, specifically real-time transcription. And not just transcription, translation. It was an amazing display the other day. There was the Office 365 keynote happening right at the same time the Skype for Business keynote was happening, and Gurdeep actually zoomed in on a Skype meeting broadcast that was taking place, covering the Office 365 session, and in real time, the Skype meeting broadcast was set up for the transcription. He turned that on. We were seeing all the words across the bottom of the screen as they were being spoken, and then he flipped it to Mandarin, and it was just mind-blowing. It was awesome. So that is in the works. That is coming down the road. It was very neat to see demoed in real time. Skype meetings area, that's one of those areas I'm going to let you guys read on your own. I'm going to dive down into the Project Rigel, now next generation Skype room systems, as that was really I would say one of the bigger themes that we discussed this year, as well as VIS. But the demoed device for this was the Logitech Smart Dock. Very cool demo. Mark has done a great job of giving you requirements and features and specs for that Smart Dock there, as well as the extender box below it, and then of course a lot of other commentary on that as well. And as we go down here, you see his requirements, and then we go. There's going to be some pictures of it down there, but before we leave that section, we'll say there is the Logitech, and then there is the Crestron side of things, and then of course Polycom. Those are the three vendors, those are the three partners with Microsoft on the Project Rigel now next generation Skype systems area. So you can put orders in for all of them now. Logitech will be shipping very quickly, Crestron following shortly behind that, and Polycom first thing 2017. Watch for those announcements, all right? Let's move down a little bit to Mac. Mac was a big topic. Jamie and I, on our interview on Monday, talked a lot about Mac, and that's because we all know how big in demand Mac is for the end users. So they demoed the client. They have not 100% committed to October, but that is the date they feel confident about. All their data right now looks like October is happening. So it looks like we're finally going to see this thing come out of preview and into GA in October. And all the people rejoiced, right? At least all the Apple fans rejoiced. So, and all the Skype for Business techs that have to support the Apple fans. So that's cool that we have Mark has a few pictures of that we'll look at down here. Very good developments. Let's go down and look at those really quick here. Here we go. There's a good shot of the Mac client right there. It looks pretty slick. It's looking very nice. Still has a little bit of a Mac feel, but it's nice. It looks good. And look at this screen, put in full screen mode. That video window takes up every last bit of real estate in the client window. Awesome stuff. So the Mac client is right about there, and we're going to be playing with that very, very soon. All right, next up we've got, let's scroll down here a bit more. He had some pictures of the Logitech stuff for Skype room systems, and we had demonstrating Skype room systems there. iOS updates. There was they demonstrated how the call log on the iOS client is now going to have the Skype for Business calls show up in it, and it really looks slick. The thing is, you see a regular call that shows up as normal. The Skype for Business call says Skype for Business, and if you click on it, it starts another Skype for Business call to that number. Very, very sweet, and that is going to be a huge value add to the iOS users. So Mark had a lot more on here. Unfortunately, my connection here is a little bit wonky, and so I'm not getting the rest of the page downloading at the moment. Some of the big things were around PSTN conferencing, or PSTN calling is now going to be in preview shortly here for France and Spain. So that brings the total countries up to 4, plus Puerto Rico. And but again, that's preview. They're not GA yet. That was one of the big announcements. PSTN conferencing now in 90 countries and over 400 cities. Huge for Office 365 users. They also are now the ability to have users be moved within the same tenant, but moved to infrastructure in a different geography based on their usage location. That is coming. So now a user who is in some other country, but their tenant is in the US or elsewhere, you can set their usage location to their country, and their meetings, along with all the currently scheduled meetings, are going to be moved to the infrastructure in that location. awesome. The first real steps towards having things geographically dispersed like that for a single tenant. So we are very excited to hear that news. Looks like we finished updating here, so we touched on Real Connect as well. I'll download it a little bit more. Here's the PSTN calling I talked about for France and Spain, conferencing in these other countries now. Really cool stuff happening there. Before I wrap up, I wanted to talk about a new tool that was new to me. It's shared out there just the other day, September 28th, and this was posted on Twitter by Tim Harrington, who is a MVP and MCM, I believe, and had the chance to meet Tim this time around. Great guy, it was fun hanging out, had a good time. He was sharing Chris Harrington's post here. Gonna go on a limb and say possibly related in some way, but or extreme coincidence. But either way, he was sharing this article by Chris. Chris put together, and as he calls out right here, with the help of Tim, he put together this new tool for calculating a custom calculator for your Skype for Business and Link server deployments, calculating specs and requirements. Now he wants to call out in this little area here. Let me do this, mark this up, and we'll circle this right here. All right. I love the Surface. I love the pen. This is good stuff. So, right in there, he calls out his caveats and his warnings. Microsoft already has reference sizing numbers. Microsoft has created a capacity sizing tool. There's nothing wrong with it. It just didn't give him as much as he wanted. And then also, he accepts zero responsibility or liability. Make sure you understand all that. What he means by it wasn't enough info for him, he wanted to dive into the numbers, taking into consideration things like whether we're deploying on VMs or physical hardware and stuff like that. How he came across those calculations or worked it into his tool, I'm not sure, but the tool is there, and we're going to look at that a little bit further down here. All right, check this out. Take a look at the tool. All right, let me get out of here and click on this. Exit. There. Let's go back here. All right. So, Skype for Business Custom Design Planning Calculator. Put in all the different specs to your environment that you need to get. Web conferencing, yes or no, enterprise voice, number of users, all that stuff. And you feed it to the tool. The tool is going to go back and give you an answer with what you need. Minimum CPU of 21 cores, front-end server count of 12, front-end CPU cores count 4. Gives you all this information. Gets you really granular based on what you put in there. And we go back over, and you can even look at a graph like this that kind of shows how your average CPU utilization is going to be affected by increasing the number of front ends or increasing the number of CPU cores. So very, very cool, handy tool to use. He has provided a link to us. Let's go back to here and circle that link. TechNet Gallery download. If you're interested in this tool, even for kicking around, or you think it's going to be helpful to you, and you too have wanted to get a little more granular on whether or not we're talking VMs or physical hardware or whatever, download this from the gallery, give him feedback here and on the TechNet Gallery site, and if it's a good tool and you like it, rate it. Give him the stars he deserves, all right? People that put stuff on the gallery, that's super important to get that feedback. Very, very cool stuff. Chris, great job on this tool. Thanks for sharing it with us, and I hope it helps a ton of other people, okay? Let's jump back over really quick to my regular screen, goodbye Infinity screen. Okay, guys, it has been a great conference. I want to thank you all for your support, both on LinkedIn and Twitter throughout the week. You have been retweeting and commenting and sharing and like crazy. And it has been super fun to actually meet a whole bunch of you in person that I have only interacted with on Twitter previously or LinkedIn. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for stopping by and saying hi or telling me you want to meet up and all that good stuff. It has been a great time. I hope I am here next year. I hope we are doing this again. It's just been a blast. So I think we got some stuff happening at the booth over here right now, and if we turn it around a little bit more, we can see kind of what's going on over there, see what's going on over here. There's Mr. Stark in the background again. He's working the booth, obviously. I think Mr. Brian Ricks is working the booth right now as well. So, yes, Good stuff. Thank you guys. If you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed any of the stuff coming out of Ignite from me this week, please retweet, please share, and let me know what you thought. So you guys have a safe weekend. If you are traveling from Ignite throughout the U.S. and across the globe, be safe, travel safely, and we will see everyone back for a little bit more normal week, next Friday. Try to have everything out there on time, and no promises though. All right, that's how I roll. So, also, if I get this up on time, Jamie Stark and Sean Wilson are doing the Skype meeting broadcast at 5 p.m. Eastern here at Ignite, their special Ignite edition. So tune in for that. Watch their episode, their podcast they'll be doing. I'm sure they've got a lot of good stuff to be talking about. So excellent. You guys have a good one, and adios.